Okay, welcome back. Chapter 5. Now, I'll just remind you that this is what Ben and Pearl saw looking through the door to the worm hospital. Chapter 5, Guard Dragon. The ominous growl sent a vibration up Pearl's legs. What was behind the door? Had something nasty escaped from one of the treatment rooms? Or had Mr. Tabby placed a monster in the lobby to scare off possible intruders? Pearl's heart kicked up its rhythm. Ben's face went pale. He stepped back as the beast stared through the peephole. But Pearl wasn't so quick to retreat. Was there something familiar about that eyeball? The growl stopped and the eyeball disappeared, and then came the sound of the deadbolt sliding open. Maybe we should go, Ben whispered. But we're supposed to be here, said Pearl. Mr. Tabby wouldn't send something to hurt us. Yet how could she be so sure? She had only known Mr. Tabby for a week, and he was usually quite grumpy. Maybe they had broken another rule, and this was their punishment? The second deadbolt released, and then the third, fourth, and fifth. The door opened. "Aha! Did I scare you with my big, mean growl?" a voice asked. "Did I? Did I?" The black dragon who lived on the hospital roof stood hunched in the doorway. Pearl and Ben exhaled at the same time, 'cause this was no monster. "Oh, Metalmouth!" Pearl exclaimed. "You nearly scared the pants off of Ben." "No, he didn't," Ben said, wiping sweat from his forehead. The dragon smiled and thwapped his tail. "I'm supposed to guard the front door while Mr. Tabby's gone." He stepped inside so Pearl and Ben could enter. Pearl still couldn't believe that she knew a dragon, and one that talked. He slammed the door shut, and then using his claws, he slid all the deadbolts back into place. "Did you hear about the human who got into the imaginary world? Did you? Did you? Did you?" "Yeah. Who do you think it is?" Pearl asked. "Beats me." Metalmouth sat on his haunches. His head nearly reached the ceiling. He wasn't the largest dragon that the kids had met, but he was big enough to take up most of the lobby. "I don't like watching the front door. What if an angry peasant wants to get in?" He had seen pictures of rake-wielding villagers in a book called History of Dragons by Dr. Emerald Wu. There was also a drawing of a knight in shining armor attacking a dragon with a sword. No wonder Metalmouth was scared. Pearl figured it was a good thing he was living in Buttonville, where no one owned a sword. At least none that she knew. Pearl didn't want to scare Metalmouth, of course, but he needed to know something very important. There is one person in Buttonville that might try to get inside the hospital, and her name is Martha Mulberry. She's a busybody. Ben nodded. "My grandfather says she gossips way too much." "Gossips?" Metalmouth scratched his left ear. "What's gossips?" She talks about everybody else. She complains, she whines. Grandpa Abe says that we need Mrs. Mulberry about as much as we need holes in our head. "I don't want a hole in my head." Metalmouth flattened his ears and glanced at the door. "Do you think we should get some more locks? Do you? And even though he was big enough to sit on anyone who might sneak in, Metalmouth was as gentle as a butterfly. "I'm sure everything is going to be just fine," Pearl told him. But she wasn't so sure. What if Martha Mulberry brought the police? Or what if the human that had been spotted in the imaginary world tried to get in? Ben, who'd been frowning since Mr. Tabby had used the word dangerous earlier, didn't seem so sure either. "We have a security system in our house in Los Angeles," Ben said. "It sounds an alarm if anyone opens any of the windows or doors. I think Dr. Wu should get something like that, don't you?" "But what happens if you open a window or a door?" Pearl asked. "I'm supposed to type in some password into a keypad and then turn off the alarm. But sometimes I forget and then the guards come." Ben shrugged. "I usually tell them a story. One time I said that it was a ghost." Look, say hi, Finn. Oh, there we go. He said hi. One time, where was I? One time I said that we had a ghost who couldn't make up his mind if he wanted to haunt the house or get in the yard, so we kept going in and out. Pearl thought that was a funny story and might have even laughed if Meadowmouth's ears weren't still flattened. I don't think I can watch the windows and all the doors. I wish Mr. Tabby would come back, Meadowmouth said. Pearl reached out and petted the dragon's paw. It'll be okay. Just make that big, mean growl, and no one will come anywhere near the hospital. Like this? And the dragon opened his mouth, exposing a row of sharp teeth, sharp enough to bite through metal. Pearl and Ben plugged their ears as a roar filled the lobby. Hot breath blew across their faces. If the building weren't made of concrete, the walls themselves might have collapsed. Yeah, Pearl said, just like that. Ben checked his watch. We'd better get to work. He held out the ring of keys. I guess I should leave you with this. Meadowmouth opened a front paw, and Ben slipped the ring over the dragon's claws. Don't melt it, Pearl said. The dragon had a habit of stealing metal objects and melting them into works of art. Mr. Tabby would not like that. Okay. Meadowmouth tucked the keys beneath one of his scales. Steam wafted from his nostrils. Thanks to his hot breath, the lobby was heating up like a sauna. Pearl wiped sweat drops from the back of her neck. The dragon pulled a yellow tennis ball from another scale. You wanna play fetch? He rolled out his mouth. His tongue rolled out of his mouth, and his tail thwapped again. Huh? Wanna play fetch? Huh? We can't, Ben said. We have to go to the forest suite and trim the Sasquatch's nose hairs. Sorry, Pearl said, feeling bad that they didn't have time to hang out. She really liked Meadowmouth. He was like a gigantic puppy. She couldn't have a dog because her dad was allergic, but playing fetch with a dragon, 1,000,000 times better. Meadowmouth sighed, and a lot more hot air filled the room. Oh, okay. See you guys later. And he pressed his paw against the employees' only door, which used some sort of fingerprint recognition technology, and it clicked open. Thanks, Pearl and Ben said. They stepped through, and the door closed behind them. Ben and Pearl walked down a long hallway until they reached the time clock where they punched in. The time cards kept track of the apprentices' comings and goings. Violet, the switchboard operator, had already punched in. She worked on the 10th floor, where she filed calls from the imaginary world. Her card was thumbtacked to the on-duty side of the bulletin board. Ben placed his card and Pearl's card next to Violet's. Mr. Tabby's card was tacked to the off-duty side, as was Vinny's. Pearl and Ben hadn't met him yet. Or her. Or it, as the case may be. Crazy cat. The next step was to put on their white lab coats. They had been soaked after the long trip to the land of rain, and now they were nice and dry. Hey, what's this? Pearl asked, and a note was taped to her lapel. I wonder what's going on in the basement, Pearl said. The note read, Apprentices, come join me in the basement, Dr. Wu. Ben buttoned his coat. Do you think we should take care of the Sasquatch first? No way. Pearl would do practically anything to get out of sticking her fingers up a Sasquatch's nose. But Mr. Tabby said, Dr. Wu is the boss, Pearl interrupted. Besides, aren't you dying to see what she keeps down there? She smiled. Maybe it's something that likes to live underground, in the dark, or something so big that it won't even fit in one of the regular rooms. Ooh, what could it be? Ben chewed on his lower lip. I guess we're about to find out. Chapter 6, The Pool Beneath.